So, my country people, fellow Amazonians, this is a wonderful day. We are back in Amba History. This is your humble moderator, Dr. Emmanuel Anyanwenga, the man who call Ask Question, Ask Doctor, Batoroki, and all like. We are today accompanied by our powerful and, how can I put it again? I like the words, PK, Pascal Congressman from Zurich. And today we have the special guy from the States, United States of America. We have a brother called Lambert Bum. Lambert, you're welcome. And of course, our evil and most popular Uncle P, Monju Paul. You're welcome. So, my people, tonight in on Amba History, there's, how can I put it? There's a lot of modern history to talk about. I would have loved we could talk about it today, but
thank you.
We have to follow our timetable as we have started by building up. We'll come on to what happened yesterday with the first government of our Federal Republic of Amazonia. We'll come back to talk about all those developments in due course. But I think that before I go on talking, I just hand over the microphone to PK to tell us where we stopped the last time.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ngasa. Once again, this is the third time we're meeting on this issue. And a special welcome to my comrade, Bobby Lambert. It's been a long time. I haven't seen him for 35 years, I think. And we're
Wow.
all looking now like grand, and then we have Uncle P as well that I spoke to early this morning. I'm very, very grateful to be with you guys today. And let's just try to keep it short and simple because the history actually at this stage is very intricate. Last time we stopped around the 1959, but before we go into that, we might want to hear from Lambert. Actually, how he found himself here. It's very important to know. I mean, how he found himself here, and maybe Uncle P as well, because people know Dr. Ngasa and I, our faces on this program, but we have two new comrades who are coming now to power up this
Exactly.
the edification. So good. I wouldn't just want to start because they have to actually give some basic introductions of themselves as well.
Of course.
Who is starting?
Well, Uncle P, you can start since you're nearer to me.
Okay. Okay. I know what talking about. I talk all man name.
You're welcome.
My name is Uncle P. The name they give me because I will take care for everybody. But really, my name is Monju Paul Mumulu.
Welcome.
Accommodate, yes. And then
Welcome.
all my life, I don't be fight make we will come up for West Cameroon, almost Southern Cameroon. We will call on today Amazonia. We will get a decent life. Assuming somebody here understand we. And so I don't find myself among Una today. I thank Una plenty. So Una give me the chance make a story about common homeland. When are the best one for Africa. Yes.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Uncle P.
Thank you.
Come good. Come good as we talk for Cartier. Come good, come good. Small time we talk some official talk now. We're not talking at Cartier. Now talk now, we're talking now for inside group. Meeting.
Yes.
Yeah. So Comrade Lambert, it's your turn now to tell Amazonia how you got into this clique, the PK Ngasa connection, alias Amba's, or how do you call it again, Amba History. Hello? Hello,
we
Lambert?
have technical problems with Lambert.
Okay.
There's a lapse, actually, that's the problem.
All right, maybe his distance is very far. So those who have physics, those who did physics can now tell him how slow he can talk or how fast he can talk in order to catch up.
Okay. The you guys hear me? I can't hear you. The volume is what I can.
I can hear you now. I think we still have almost the same problem we had with
Barrister Bob Graham. Can you hear me?
Yes, I got you.
Some resounding echo.
If you speak a little bit slowly, not try the words come at one at a time. We could get you. Let's try it that way to beat the technological problem.
Hello.
Yes, Bob. Lambert, you can continue. We can hear you, but just speak slowly because there's some resonance.
Come on, Lambert.
I think he seems to be speaking, but I think the problem is the lines.
Means that if by the time his message gets to us, we will have closed the program. So I will ask now the technical department to reserve 1 hour of Lambert time at the end.
Yes, so, can you hear me?
Yes, let's try to hear you now. Come on, please. I can't see your lips moving. Are you talking? Okay. Let's say our Amazonians are all watching, waiting for us to go on with this program. The technical labs is not our fault. You know, the world is at some places the world is rounder than in other places. So though where it is round, it goes smoothly. Where it is not round enough, it goes up
you
and
in
down.
Bits and pieces. I don't know whether you guys can hear me.
No, speak. I can just continue now. So go on, please. Just talk, and then we'll wait for a minute and listen to you. Can you hear me? Uncle P, try. Maybe you your own voice will solve the problem.
Okay, Mr. Lambert, did you hear me? Okay, you know, on problem, I'm not sure saying that just because of the distance. You know, say mainland Europe and US use two different systems. We use PAL system, same like Amazonia, and same like South Africa. And America, they use another system, whether not ITS something something. If you been at the matter that way, the break.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Now, someone no one time who hear America. The one time who pay.
You want to put up trouble
Now capitalism. The one time who pay before a year, even from one brother. Well, okay, good. Back to it. We will get at this at the solution one day. PK.
Yeah.
1959.
Yes.
What was the, 1959? We're getting towards 1960, meaning that in the rest of Africa, many countries were preparing to get their independence on the 1st of January. But in British Southern Cameroons, we had a second government, if I'm not mistaken. The French government had taken over.
Yeah, before we go to that point, I think it's not bad. We also give a little bit of retrospect so that people can catch up from when we left last time.
Okay.
You see, approaching the 1960s, there was a lot of pressure from all the sub-Saharan African states because of independence. So there was a lot of movements from other countries that were under the colonial rule from whatever colonial master. So Cameroon's case was kind of special because we know the mandates that were placed to the French and the English. So it wasn't as easy as the Congos or Nigeria or the Niger or Ghana. It was quite different because they had to sort us out. We had this pressure of a certain group that actually wanted to stay with Nigeria. We had the pressure from a certain group that wanted to go back and join the rest of Cameroon, La République du Cameroon. So that was actually what made our independence period very complex because a lot of political intrigue came in. Since people who were once in the same coalition became opponents, and when they became opponents, actually they had to form and reform other groups to outsmart the other groups. So a lot of politicking came in, which actually modeled and confused a lot of things that happened within that short period of time, which we can say is actually the root cause of our problem today in Amazonia. So that's why I think we're going to spend a little bit of time in these years from 1955 to 1961, because it's like the apex of the confusion of the different forces that wanted reunification. So again, as we said, the UPC had already started having problems in the 50s in La République du Cameroon. Meanwhile, some of the French Cameroonians who had settled down in English Cameroon felt very comfortable and also became very emancipated when they realized that actually their own rights were being disenfranchised in that part of Cameroon, which they had claimed to be like part of their ancestral lands. So they had this pressure, which actually was spearheaded by a certain Dibonge, who actually was against Endeli. And he wanted reunification. He was a French Cameroonian from Douala, and Endeli didn't want reunification. Meanwhile, Foncha wanted reunification. So it happened that Endeli, who actually had more support from the Southern Cameroonians, started losing ground to Dibonge, who actually had Foncha's back, and plus he also had the French Cameroonians who had settled down in Southern Cameroon. So it gave him an upper hand over Endeli, and Endeli started actually to be weak in the process.
Mm-hmm.
That the UPC was still struggling with its own survival, and it had been already banned in East Cameroon, in La République du Cameroon, or no, East Cameroon. Let's put the word French Cameroon, not La République, because La République came only after 1960.
Exactly.
So in French Cameroon, UPC actually was banned. So the nearest place that they fled to was the frontier towns like Ebonji, Tombel, all those areas around Kumba. So, and the UPC, we know very well that was consisted of a lot of people from the Bassa lands and the Bamileke regions. So that accounts for example, the mix of the southern Cameroon population today. That you see that there's a lot of English, or rather, Bamilekes, and actually are part of our society, but they have their ancestral lands from the west, from the western region and from the littoral region. So it was quite a complex issue because that's when our divide started, where you had the Foncha and Endeli divide. Although they were all one together, don't forget, as I said before, Foncha, we could place him as an errand boy for Endeli because he was based in Bamenda. And Endeli was more emancipated and used Foncha as his errand boy when he went to the grasslands to do his campaigns. But now Foncha started gaining ground because the UPC, who was actually for reunification, realized that Foncha was also opting for reunification. So Foncha now started actually getting a lot of profit advantages from the UPC through sponsoring. So that sponsoring made Foncha's party, which was the KNDP party, to start to get stronger than Endeli. That accounts for Foncha actually winning Endeli in the second election, while Endeli had been the first premier of Southern Cameroon.
Okay. Okay, so now Foncha has taken over power.
Yes, because Foncha had broken up from he and Jua actually broke up from the KNC, which was a party that Endeli controlled, and from the KNDP, and they had enough support, covert support from the UPC, because the UPC loved their agenda. Their agenda was talking more of reunification. That was actually Foncha's issue.
Joining the Francophone part of Cameroon.
Yes, for them to come to one again as they were before the 1914 saga.
So that's 1959.
No, that was not 1959. That was way back in 1955, because that's the same year that the UPC was banned in French Cameroon in that same year.
In 55.
Yes.
And but they went into hiding. They went underground.
Well, if you're banned, the first thing you have to do is you have to look for the nearest bushes around your vicinity, and if it gets very hot, then you start to cross the borders. And the nearest borders, if you know the geography of Cameroon today, Banga and Kumba actually are just a stone throw from each other. And Loom, which is also was one of the centers of the UPC activities, is very very near to Tombel.
Exactly.
So there was a lot of pressure from the tribes, the Bamileke tribes, who left Loom Kekem area and moved over to Tombel. They were actually given some refugee status. That means the Bakosi people were very welcoming to them. And it's also some part of our history, which actually the Bakosi people had to pay dearly, because Ahijo actually killed about 400 of them in one massacre, one incident of massacre.
Yes.
Actually repaying them for helping the Bamilekes to take refuge.
Yes. This is very interesting. I just interrupt a little bit, because during the course of this last year of our resistance, we have been hearing of cry outs from people around that area, saying that the Bamileke should be grateful that the Bakosi people gave them refuge. All along, we have been thinking only about the Buddhas who came to Bamenda. But it's very interesting for somebody who grew up in the northern zone to know that borderline between the littoral and the southwest, and that was actually one of the most contested places along the border between the Republic and British Southern Cameroons.
Well, there is a very historical reason to that, because that part of Cameroon was the most, we will call it, agro-industrialized area in Cameroon then.
Okay.
That's where you had the plantations. True. That's where you had the CDCs. People came from Nigeria. People came from the northwest region to come and look for employment in the CDC plantations that had been there since the early part of the century. So the flow of the Bamilikis, for example, and the Basas was more into the Mabanda area, which is like northwest of northeast of Kumba, because it was a vicinity.
Okay.
So if you go, for example, to that area today, you realize that it's actually a lot of people who live there. They have their ancestral roots from the west, and deep in the west, not just from Kekem, right to Baham.
Right to Bapang. Right to Bapang.
Yes. You see, Bafang, Baham, all those areas, because there was a lot of pressure for them, and they had to run for their lives. Those in Bunda moved because it was the nearest to them to cross over to Santa. But you see, Bamenda area didn't have agro-industrial facilities to actually accommodate these people. So when they went there, they had to actually fend for themselves in subsistence farming as usual.
Yeah.
While the ones who were in Chang, they could move also to Fontem and down to the southwest, deep southwest, which means like the CDC areas of the Econas and so on. You see, there's one thing when we look at this migration, we shouldn't just think people just move. No, they moved and looked for places where they could get employment because they need to survive. And the easiest place to actually get accommodation was in the camps of the plantation, like in Moliwe and Bahia and all those places. So those are very important aspects in the social movement and of the consequences of the uprising of the UPC.
So now in looking at it at that context, could we have do you have an idea of how much of the population was of that ancestral origin, the migrated origin from La République?
Well,
do you have an idea? Was it a matter of just 10%, 20%, or do we have any information on that?
That information is open to dispute because it was very easy. The censuses were not done regularly. Even today, for example, it's still hard to know those things. That time, you can imagine that people lived in far-flung places. Most of the statistics that are there today, they are mostly plantation statistics. They are not statistics of villages or hamlets or people living deep in the forest or some farmlands. So it was easy to count the number of Nigerians who were working in the CDC, the number of people who left the former French Cameroon who were working in the CDC, the number of people who came from the grasslands in the Bamenda to work in the CDC. So what we have as Cameroon history is more a plantation history because everything turned around the plantation.
That's true. That's true. We from the northern zones, we used to hear them say, "I go down the coast."
Exactly.
That's some expression.
They were not going there for tourism. They were going there to look for employment.
Tourism, this man interests me. They're going to see the sea now. We don't have to see in Bamenda, so we're going to see the sea now.
That is not funny.
There is an account. There is excuse me, a little bit of a personal account in one of the Cameroonian guys who left Ngolo Batanga. Ngolo Batanga is one of the most remote villages in the Indian division. So the thing is, he heard about the big sea in Victoria. So he went there, he walked through the bushes, through Bonge and whatever, through Barombi Koto, Barombi Kang, and walked through the bushes right to Victoria just to see the sea. And he gave an account of the sea because he was used to rivers that he sees in his village. And you have the very famous River Mana in the Indian division, which is kind of big, but when it reaches Rio del Rey, where you have the Bakassi, it opens into the sea. They call this place in the local language Big Bele because you don't see the other side of the bank, which is actually the beginning of the Atlantic Ocean.
I think that I want to throw a challenge to our Amba artists. They have to start coming up with graphics, with material or visual material to display the psyche of our people.
Yeah,
how can you call a stream Big Bele? Very logically, Big Bele because they're of Kashwako or whatever. You understand?
No, the place where they refer Big Bele is actually where you have there's a place in Cameroon called Bambuso.
Yes.
So yeah.
And then you have Isangele, and then you have Abana 1, Abana 2, Kombo Itindi, and then Kombo Adebemo. Those are the places which make up the Bakassi Creeks.
Mm-hmm.
You see, so as soon as you arrive that area, then you are now exposed to the fringe of the Atlantic Ocean. And then when you start to sail east, that is you're sailing south now. When you start to sail east, then you go into Dibuncha, to Batoke, to Limbe.
Mm-hmm.
You see, so actually people never use these routes with the dock out canoes. It's only when the launch came, which the colonialists brought, that it could take people like from Lobe to Mundemba. It was through the launch, because there was never a road there then. The road came in 1979. So all these people who were actually patched into these places, they were going there to work either for the CDC or for the PAMOL.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where we get the statistics. PAMOL will tell you how many people worked in the 1930s when it was created.
Mm-hmm.
So if you go, for example, to the management club in PAMOL, where their evenings, you will see a signboard that told you exactly when the Germans were defeated, when they left, and when they were called back to be given back their plantation. Because the Germans are the ones who built PAMOL.
This is wonderful. This is really interesting. And you know, when I'm listening to you, I'm trying to see the different types of opportunities that our Amba kids, our Amba future will bring. Because you know, when I was working on the ship, we docked at Dubai. And I'll go out and then move around, and then you see all these, that is what they call it, their boats, which carry people around, and they narrate their stories, telling them about the different places. I just imagine, Doctor, when we were talking about Angela, Batoker, all the like, just imagine our own boats doing tourism, carrying our people, not only tourists, but also our schools, our children going down there for outings. Don't know how to call them again. When they go out for a few days, how do you call that? How do you say it now? This German will kill you.
Excursions.
Thank you very much. Yeah. So excursions. So we can now organize excursions for our kids to travel from school to school, to go down there and then learn, first of all, not only their history, but also the geography of the country, which is information that will give them other opportunities to be creative.
That is true.
If you're traveling between Victoria and Miles, how do you call this? That place where they go and swim. People have money, they go and enjoy themselves. There is the lava flow.
Yeah, that's in Bakilindi.
Bakilindi, exactly. Bakilindi or whatever, something like that.
It's Baklingi.
Why sorry for me now.
Baklingi.
Yes.
It is before you get now.
Okay, sorry for me. Baklingi. Around here. Baklingi. When you get to Baklingi, that lava flow was happened in 2000. The year 2000.
It killed my uncle.
It killed your uncle?
Yes.
He was coming so slowly. My uncle not able to run away.
Mbulu's dad. No, the thing is that it's not the volcano that killed him. The armies who came, they were driving carelessly, so they knocked him along the road, and that was the end. So they just framed it that the volcano killed him. You see, and that man, that man was my what we call in German forebuild, the person I looked up to.
Your role model.
My role model, because he was a classmate to Dr. Fonlon.
Dr. Fonlon, our history book.
Yes.
Bringing us back to Amba History. Okay. Why I mentioned that is because I visited that place in 2002. For the first time, 2 years later. And I did a video, I filmed it, and you could see all the volcanic rock, no life. Then I came back in 2007 and filmed again. And now you could see the first type of plants that had succeeded to set root there. Then I was there again in 2009. The video documentation of that place, which is something very interesting, because those are the type of things that we have to be teaching in our schools. You understand? So that was an anecdote. Uncle P, let's come back now to you. You know, our people are at times very discouraged, very disappointed, very whatever. They listen to information that discourages them. But I know that you have seen heaven and hell, and you decided that heaven is better. Is it true?
Heaven is always better, man. Heaven is always better. Even if you ask a Muslim, I'll tell you that paradise, which is heaven for us, is always better. You ask those of us who believe in Christianity, you say heaven is better. One thing I will tell our people today is this. They have gone through, they don't go through a lot of nonsense. And then, which way they need now, not only to be certain, say, all signs also show that they be a driven people. So me, they stay calm. They look forward for the new atmosphere we will get and we don't state the government where they don't where Zizeko don't put that in place. When we don't really check them go here. So all the things talk about excursion and all the like, that thing we will get them. So me to people them, they be certain say all the things that will happen will be. I mean, as Dr. Pascal they tell the history. This history na history where we no learn about school because they hide them for we. So we go try again to make our picking them and then our great grand picking them. Even our parents them, when they know we get the opportunity for fight for all the history, like we find out for all the the norm. Yes. And then the Republic don't make a media the fear, say we no go succeed for make them see that new nation they come. But me the rest, me the be very, very sure say it can happen. Because I'm asking the one thing, since 1961, people they don't come up several times. They try to fight like Republic. They never ever go this far like we don't go now. We don't get Amazonian, where Dr. Fonji, His Excellency from Godidinka be doing. He never ever form a government where it touch all parts of the Amazonian nation. Our other brothers too, they don't do this similar. From that village. They were going maybe that way they can make and we will hate one another again. It don't take this time. So me they be certain. Our brother don't tell me how we be like a harbor, a full harbor for people the way that we get trouble. We not say in the 50s and then in the early 60s, La Republic we killed a lot of our Bamileke brothers and Francophone brothers. But one thing we want to forget for now, that say they will kill even a one of the people then, even your the people. If you leave Kumba, you go down Douala, some village there, before you reach Mbanga, we want cross Mongo River for reach Mbanga, when not only your the people then they did. So if the wrong come for we, that means say we be good people there, we be a gentle people. And now why that way up to now we will not go out to war to reinstate our nation. We detect diplomatically, but you know me say we not fight that war. So many people them be, people the rest calm, we be with all assurance, so we go reinstate our nation. I'll be very glad to talk to them because we don't get people the way they come. They don't. They people say we just go back to the days of all Anglophone conference. They be fight the draft constitution, but a few people they be capitalized on top of it. When La Republic we take some of them, use them, spoil everything. We know what to talk about. Dr. Munzu, the one of them, where the La Republic give them chance for go for work for UN. So if you turn back, spoil everything. Now why the way Dr. Dinga can't remain new one? But this time around, not be one person in the team. Now everybody in the team is. I mean that sign will show for 22nd of September. Show for October. So wait well where the governing council, the interim government don't do. Now very wonderful thing because it don't form a government where all man did it. And wait till I will tell people them back home now and say, me all man gather support behind this government. Because they fight not only there for home, they for outside. After they fight for outside, they fight for home. You can't join. It's like when they build a tunnel, like they build a tunnel from France to England. They will start from English side, they start from French side. They can't beat up the middle. So now soon we go for war. They don't give up for homeland because it's never over. We know that even today they still kill people there for inside the Republic. And then they hide them. But small time they will get a relief. Another one. Because I don't learn one thing for this struggle. To look person very well. You hear talk come up my mouth. You see action where you don't take them. You go know that person. I don't see what this go do. You don't talk certain things the way. They talk loud. They talk now. Small. And that thing that they happen. It's that they go first curse you. They laugh you. They try to fight you, try to kill you. After they will start beg you. Like the people come very soon for a news to beg Amazonian people then. Me they not say history they go outside. History people go away. They will call with terrorists. Say we go against constitution. So that finger they point that go we. The same finger they point for them double time because at the first break the constitution when they themselves they be done for 1961. As the system be break them. Because the constitution we start the constitution say you're not supposed to change them. But after they be change them, so as they change them, so they will free themselves, we free ourselves too. So after people in the year, Southern Cameroonian people, when are they a free people, and when are staying up together. Me, I get one question I want to ask teacher then. For the beginning, they will say one condition and say me they give a check, me they give a make a bit of French teacher, they come up for school there. They don't come up for school and say that French teacher they don't come up for school. Okay. They can promise that they're going to employ 1,000 teachers there. This don't show say, but that 1,000 bilingual teachers, 82% na francophone. So, maybe that's the same thing. Okay. Again, wait to wait. I want to ask them again. They arrange them in Biakan visit them for Babenda. Christian, what they ask them and say, as they can't visit them, so he will come with all that begin there, you don't kill them. Or you come with all that one, they don't arrest them. You know, go take people that begin, they go keep and they come and talk peace with them. It be normal. It not be normal.
No way.
You don't take people that begin them. You go keep them. You kill someone them. You come and talk with them. It not be normal, no?
No.
Okay. Along this program, we will pick up more about that one because the thing burn for everybody heart. And then me then look at them again. All the struggle they inside the leaders and all that quarrel, all everything. Me they know say that thing with Bia and the French government don't use that for a long time. Things from 1961. Wait till what happened with Augustin Gomdwa, I'm not gonna ever forget them. Now, because of all this kind of confusion where the French government will always put them. So all the they happen now where the leaders the quarrel, the government does me they don't fear anything. Me they just stay quiet. They go tired, and then we go reach for our homeland, and then me I could be glad to they bury me for free country.
Uncle B.
Yes.
Uncle B. They can tell you in F.R.A. so all your ancestors them, all we Papa and Mama they don't go before, they don't hear, and all we hear of them, of course, they hear too. They don't be shed their blood enough for nothing, because we now free people. We don't take responsibility for readdress, and putting them back in order. Uncle P, yes. Ask my brother for across that other big water, Atlantic. You know if you come from Limbe, go Washington, go for this now, go America for sea now. If you swim, man, free swim, go. If fish not chop, no problem. But what I like, what I be possible for fish talk with you. Understand no? The fish swim go America, maybe line fi pass. No ask you. Lambert, come on, Lambert, are you there? Hello? Come on, Lambert. Can you speak? We are not getting you. Uncle P, stop laughing. Okay. It appears as if the land of Donald Trump, they don't want us to get that information. They stopped our secretary, Bobga, they stopped him. And then we tried Lambert last week. He was not available because he had to work. But this time around, we got him here, and the lines are not cooperative. I think we have to get an Amba Minister of Lines for America. That will get it working better. PK.
Yes, sir.
Please, let's see how we can remedy this situation. Get us out of 1959. Take us towards the roots.
Okay, so okay, as it is, well, you see, we have to also look at it very well. Sometimes when we just go quick without talking on what happened before, then we lose the points. You see, there was this tussle between Endeli and Foncha, which actually had some backgrounds from the UPC, which nobody talks about. You see, the UPC will say actually corrupted the KNDP. Although the UPC was fighting for something genuine, which was Pan-African. You see, but we can only say that because the UPC never controlled Cameroon. Maybe if the UPC had controlled Cameroon like the CNU did, maybe today would have been against the UPC. But we can't be against the UPC today because the UPC had no track record of doing bad things because it was fighting for all Cameroon.
But I have a question, Doctor. I have a question, KK.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to cut in. Don't you think that the French government was so dubious and so demonic that they damaged the true fighters who were within the UPC ranks?
Of course they did.
They took the Roman and put him on the chair.
No, of course. If that's a different chapter. I'm now just staying with the UPC because Ahijo hasn't appeared yet. Ahijo was still doing his own thing parallel. Nevertheless, the colonialists preferred a person like Ahijo over Atangana, who was there before. Don't forget, Atangana was also there before Ahijo. So the thing is, the UPC was too radical for the French to understand because they knew they were going to emancipate these African buffoons. Yeah. And if they emancipate them, it's not going to be good for them.
Yeah.
That's exactly the point.
That was now the global game. But then the same time again, UP had a marionette in southern Cameroon, which was actually the KNDP, because UPC is the one who funded KNDP to actually be bigger than Endeli's party. Why? Because KNDP was run by Foncha, who actually wanted reunification as much as the UPC. The UPC wanted reunification of the two Cameroons before independence. That's something we have to also understand. The UPC wanted the reunification of the two Cameroons before independence. You see, so he was actually trying to foster Foncha's KNDP to push this agenda so that the Southern Cameroon population would actually unanimously vote for a reunification, which he didn't succeed because the French actually took them out of the scene. That's why 2 years later, after it was banned in the French Cameroon, the UPC was also banned in Southern Cameroons. The French actually sold it to the British. The British now pressured Endeli, and Endeli is the one who was the premier then, and Endeli banned the UPC. Doing that, like taking one stone and killing two birds. One, he was actually weakening KNDP by banning UPC because UPC was the one founding KNDP.
Supporting them. Yes.
So that was a political move that Endeli did. But then even as Endeli did that, the roots had taken place. The Cameroonians failed to live together, the French and the English Cameroons. So Foncha still won through the elections. He still won to be the second premier of Southern Cameroons.
One vote.
I mean, after the elections.
Vote now. Vote now. Vote. Vote now. Vote. Okay. Now we have to also take into or talk about the fact that the experience of Southern Cameroonians in Nigeria were just 8 years gone, if not less.
Yeah.
So the memories of the ill treatment of Southern Cameroonians, the marginalization that Southern Cameroonians had been experiencing were still very fresh in their minds.
Exactly.
So the fact that the UPC could easily get people to support their agenda in Southern Cameroon, because the Southern Cameroonians themselves were looking for a means to stabilize their own position.
Yes.
But their future was not yet known. And you know the two questions that were put on the table. If I'm not mistaken, Bile was the one who came up with the option that we should go straight on for independent Southern Cameroons. So I believe that it was really like Poncha and Endele. It was like some small, let me put this, gazelles. These deers. They were playing on a sandy beach with crocodiles just lurking around, and the lions behind the bushes. So those animals, they were aware of the dangers that were there. If you went too close to the sandy banks, the crocodiles could devour you. If you went too close to the bushes,
the lion,
the king of the jungle, would devour you.
Exactly.
So you had to maneuver, meander, as you call it, try to find a way to still maintain your own identity. At times, you have to accept going with somebody who might not be your best friend. But in that particular context, it will be easier to find a deer lurking behind an ox, or how do you call it again, the zebra, hoping that the lion will prefer to eat the zebra and leave it alone.
Well, that's a good anecdote about this problem. But we have to also be fair with our analysis to know that the two regions that consisted the Southern Cameroons were the Northwest and the Southwest today, for example. They had a lot of traditional ties with the rest of La République. That is the Northwest and the Bamilekes and the Bamoons, just like the Southwest and the Doualas. We have to accept that part. You see, so they had more in common than with the Nigerians. Nobody has anything in common with the Igbos. Nobody. You see, so and that was the problem. The problem with the Southern Cameroonians was the pressure and the bullying they had from the Nigerians. It's been talked about by our grandparents. They will tell you this. So it was quite difficult to coexist with the Biafrans. That was a very big problem, which catalyzed actually some of them to think reunification with their brothers on the other side, who are speaking the white man's language, is still much better than staying with the Biafrans. That was actually the whole issue in there. So the Southern Cameroonians who had the choice to choose were actually choosing the devil they know than the angel they didn't know. We look at it that way. So as you said again, going back to your anecdote of the zebra and the lion, it's like they were choosing the slow death than the quick kill.
Exactly, because as I always say, I always like to say that, you know, if you are being chased by a lion and you're running towards a stream and you suspect that there are crocodiles there, if you stop, the lion will eat you immediately. But if you jump into the stream, maybe the crocodile might be interested in a lady crocodile at any moment. So you have your 1 second to survive. Maybe. So that's what has been happening with us, because you notice that despite all these difficulties, we never disappeared. Southern Cameroon has existed, despite all the fact that everybody had wanted to devour us. Whether it was the Germans, it was the French, was the Republic of Cameroon or Nigeria,
that's the basic definition.
We're still there.
That's the basic definition today, according to the United Nations. Southern Cameroon is a people. There are people. And the problem we have today in Cameroon is La République has trained its people not to see us as a people. See, it doesn't matter if we are part of them or they are part of us. We are a distinct people. They don't want to accept that. And that's why we are having problems, because they don't want to actually accept the fact that we have a different historical background, which was not our fault, just like theirs was not their fault. So the moment they understand that people, then that basic respect is going to come back, and maybe we can be good neighbors in the future.
Well, maybe we'll leave that to our own children and their children, and you understand. But for now, we have a mission. And our mission is to educate our people. Uncle P, I don't know if our brother in America, can you ask him again if he's able to come on? Maybe you have a connection to him. Call Lambert. Uncle P, I see your mouth moving. I don't hear you talking. Uncle P. So now the voices are gone. PK, are you there?
I can hear you.
Yeah, but Uncle P is not talking. He lost his voice. Okay, let's come back to my jokes. Other people don't blame me. That's how I am.
Brother Lambert, okay? Brother Lambert.
Hello,
Brother
Lambert.
Yeah, I'm talking.
Uncle P?
Okay, should I go on?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. You know, say my own now to make people know say we'll get something to fight for. When I be there primary school, we'll be to go school. We get one day for 1 week to go meet up one pa. They call him Pambini. He teach we handwork. When you come up for school, you want to go house, you carry something where you don't belong, something where it make you feel proud, say at least at the age of 10 or 8, I don't do something. You know, say, our brother talk about history, but I'll talk about waiting to lose them, the miss them. Now, a few years back, I be there, and Pikin Cantana asked the power money for go buy handwork for work for school. Don't get you get me.
And they get you fine. I know all that. You read my book now. All that in the inside.
Pikin can't ask power money for go buy handwork for school. As I be tell you, I be an ex-Ombe. When we become an Ombe, we'll be a finished technicians there. Where you feel if you sit a mechanic, if you construct any machine, if you've been a but nowadays, you become a primary school, you don't even know the whole collapse on hand. You become a primary school, someone they don't even know to write their name. Okay. You become a technical school, you don't do one thing where you learn about their field. So I they ask our parents, the ones that continue middle especially they give the wrong education. Now the kind people that I want to be them. I'll tell you my experience. For high school for Kumba, we get only French teachers and only one Bansoman be there to teach you for high school. All the rest are Francophones then. They never be talk English. No, even be able to teach you technology. Because I know we know technology past them. So, what do they do? Because of the French plan that we get them for discard our capable industrial strength. They carry my classmates them. They go Douala for holiday to go work for their construction companies them. As you go Douala, you need to come back again for school. I know someone just died at 2 weeks, 2 months ago for Douala. when things in leave high school, they never go back again to finish high school. And as they do, they not only damage we mentally, they use we like slaves.
Well, I think we're getting some problems, Dr. Nkasa.
There's some listeners. I thought I were the only one getting that problem. Okay, I think that let's go begin. We've got about 5 minutes to go, and I think that maybe you can still go on and a little bit of that, because that crucial thing for the 60s begin. There was a lot of politicking going on, and also historical events happening around the world that would eventually affect our history in the 60s.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's why I think before I'll give you the next 2 minutes for it, or 3 minutes even, for you to tell us a little bit again on that.
Exactly. So now, coming to the end of the 50s, a lot of pressure, or independence pressure, was actually mounting on the colonial masters by the African emancipation. It happened that Ghana had its independence in 1957 as the first Black African country to have independence. Very important, and it made a lot of other African countries to actually have more hopes that theirs was just around the corner. So the pressure got nothing but just got mounted. It kept on mounting because everybody realized, I mean, look at Ghana like the beacon of hope. So it happened that by 1958, that's when a person like Aidjo actually started making his mark. The French colonialists actually had sorted out Aidjo, and Aidjo actually outsmarted the rest and made some concessions with the French. And it happened that Aidjo now became the man of La République, who actually took La République into independence, 1st of January 1960. So now we are in 1960. Southern Cameroon was not yet, but then the Article 47 of the United Nations, which stipulates that all territories should actually be independent by the 30th of September 1961, was enacted. And now, so the solution had to come out. So going back again to the articles of the United Nations, there are so many people out there might not understand those little intricacies. A plebiscite had to be conducted so that people actually will vote to go to Nigeria or to join La République of Cameroon, that has already had its independence 1 year before. So don't forget that British Southern Cameroons had the north part and the southern part. So that's why we call ourselves British Southern Cameroons. There was the British Northern Cameroons that actually, in 1st of June, had actually voted to join
Nigeria. Yes.
Well, people ask, well, how come they comfortably joined Nigeria and not Cameroon? It happened that the guy who was leading them, like our Foncha or our Endeli, was somebody who had already been appointed in Kaduna. So it had his interest in Kaduna. And he didn't have that in Cameroon. So he actually convinced his people to vote to join Nigeria. And they joined Nigeria, doing that actually guaranteed his position in Kaduna. You see?
What about the Land Rovers?
The what?
The Land Rovers that were promised that the British promised to the Lamidos in northern.
That was part of the colonial scheme of of bribing. People needed mobility, nevertheless, and our people, when they saw such things, they knew that they were getting maybe along the ranks of the white man. So it was bad for them to get their transportation facilitated by the colonialists. Many more things could have been given to them. Even till today, we are still having the same thing. The president buys cars for the bishop and for the cardinals and all those things to keep them quiet. So the thing is, now the British Southern Cameroons had to actually hold their own plebiscite to vote either to join La République of Cameroon or to join Nigeria, which had actually had independence. So these two countries had their independence, and Southern Cameroon was still on the edge, although they had some kind of autonomy. But now the hour of truth had come for them to decide which way to go. Well, it happened that the United Nations General Assembly conducted a vote, resolution 1608, that very, very famous resolution that we talk about, determine our fate as concerns independence. 64 countries voted for us to have independence, while 23 countries voted against and 10 remained neutral. And the fun is that La République du Cameroon and France itself, they were against our independence. So it's very important that we know that part, that aspect of the history.
So please take it over again. So La République du Cameroon voted against us getting our independence.
Yes, against us having independence.
This is very important because
the French also did that.
It looked like a premeditated act. You understand? It is when there's an accident and somebody dies, you have to differentiate it is manslaughter or it is murder.
Yep, that's true.
And the most important part is the premeditated act. And when La République refused to allow us the chance to get our own independence, and then you will see how they have been treating us afterwards.
Yeah. You see, I think it's because they didn't see us like people who were fit to control their own destiny, because they saw us as a part of them, as a province. You see, that's how La République saw us. And the French also voting against our independence just buttressed their confidence. So they didn't see why Southern Cameroon could actually have an independence, which was the problem. So even today, when we want to tackle this problem, we have to understand the historical position of the French, because we know already the historical position of La République. So we have to know the historical position of France. That's why you see that everything that has been going on till today, for the past 1 year, the French of France hasn't uttered a word, because they know exactly their complicity behind what is going on.
Thank you very much, PK. Fellow Ambazonians, everyone who is listening to us from wherever you are, we've spent the last 1 hour talking about Amba History. We are today our data bank, our live data bank, Pascal Kongson, PK, from Zurich, supported morally and pushfully. I don't know if that word exists in English, but no blame me. Pushfully by our able Uncle P from German. Uncle P, how do you stay?
If you don't know play this day, I don't know play this day.
Okay, he come on Germany. And our brother in America. This is we have been trying to get these Americans on board, but there's something wrong. We have to negotiate. We need a ministry of negotiation for America so that we can get our history from there too. All the same, we are grateful that we've been able to put this through, and we hope to see you in a week's time on another issue of Amba History. I am your able moderator, Dr. Anyangwe Emmanuel Ngasa.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you, Uncle P. Thank you, Dr. Ngasa.
Mama unandibe. Oh,